can we get full-time Bully Aspinall after this smear campaign? How are you going to be on the comeback?
Right, when I come back, there is no more Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Tom. When it comes to MMA, he's gone, and I'm going full back.
Tom Aspinall has been one of the UFC's most reliable heavyweights, always stepping up on short notice and supporting the company through chaotic times. Yet when he suffered a severe eye poke that threatened his long-term vision, he was mocked and dismissed even by Dana White, who implied he chose not to continue, sparking a wave of disrespect from fans. Instead of defending him or acknowledging the seriousness of his injury, the UFC left him to face the backlash alone. And when doctors confirmed the real extent of the damage, Aspinall finally responded with calm frustration, exposing how years of loyalty were thrown aside the moment they became inconvenient.
Whole year, over a year, career on hold, despite the fact that he told everyone, look, this guy ain't going to fight me. He's going to retire before he'll fight me. So you might as well just give me the title now. But unfortunately, the UFC, they wanted to believe that their GOAT was the man that they bigged him up to be, and they were wrong. And after working his whole life to become UFC heavyweight champion, this was the way it was announced.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
All right, Dana, calm down. Don't get too excited. And that was in the middle of the night in some random ass UFC press conference. No ceremony, no celebration, no congratulations, Tom. We've got the best young fighter in the world. It was as if no one gave a fuck from the UFC. It was so bad. And I get Dana was pissed because he'd been made to look a fool by Jon Jones, but that was never Tom Aspinall's fault. Tom just wanted to fight the best guy he possibly could. And you'd think MMA fans would love that. There's a fighter who's trying to fight the best, wants to win the title, wants to defend the title and be an active heavyweight champion, something we've not had in God knows how long in the UFC. But no, because Jon Jones weirdly has a lot of fans who want to see him protected and not get his chin smashed to bits, they supported the guy who ran away from the fight and trashed Tom consistently.
The UFC's issues with loyalty extend beyond Tom Aspinall, forming a long pattern of fractured relationships with some of the sport's biggest heavyweights. Francis Ngannou, the most powerful puncher in MMA history, left the organization after years of tension, accusing the UFC of disrespecting champions, suppressing their value, and treating loyalty as disposable, prompting Dana White to publicly call him a coward and a liar. Then came Jon Jones, once praised by Dana as the greatest of all time, who returned to heavyweight with huge expectations, but immediately refused the matchup. Everyone wanted Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. For an entire year, Jones stayed silent, avoiding negotiations, updates, and clarity until the moment Aspinall was compromised.
To be missed very much because the moment he left, he came right back. And by the way, I have no problem with all of this. We never had a problem with any of this. It was the fact that he was holding up the division, holding up the belt. Everyone said, please stick around. Stick around as long as you want. Just give up the title so other people can realize their dreams. Fun fights, one-off fights, legacy fights, super fights, all day. You're bigger than the title. Jon Jones is bigger than the UFC heavyweight title. He's bigger than any title. There's only a couple of guys who are bigger than the title. Jon being one. If Tom would have beaten Jon, the fact that he beat Jon would be bigger than him.
Beat Tom Aspinall up that night. Tom throws a kick and magically gets hurt. I would expect a fighter to at least attempt to stand back up or at least limp. And with Tom, he was just completely just out of the fight. And his last situation was Ciryl Gane. He gets poked in the eye. Normally you see fighters that are doing this number, trying to get the doctor to look at it. And actually, initially the doctor's just like, he seems fine. Tom's like, no, I can't see. I can't see. The guy wasn't trying to see. Yeah. The guy didn't want to see. The eye that he was covering appeared to be the eye that actually didn't get penetrated. One eye finger goes all the way underneath the eyelid. The other eye, it was on top of the eyelid. And he ends up grabbing the eye where the finger was on top of the eyelid. I don't even think Tom really knew which eye was supposed to be more compromised. He just knew that he had been fouled and it was his way out. So that alone shows me a little bit what's behind the facade of this whole.
Suddenly, the quietest man in the division became the loudest, with Jon Jones mocking and belittling Tom Aspinall and celebrating the chaos as if it were a personal win. Dana White, who once begged Jones to stay active, now distances himself from him, refusing to put him on the White House card and expressing frustration at Jones. Walking away from the fight that could have defined the division, with Francis gone, Jones unreliable, and the division unstable. Tom Aspinall has been the only heavyweight who consistently showed up, said yes, and represented the UFC the way a champion should. So when he finally responded to Dana White's disrespect, it hit harder than the usual fighter-promoter drama. Because Tom isn't a problem or a politician, he's the heavyweight who does everything right, yet still gets treated as disposable. And people noticed, fans, analysts, and even normally quiet fighters. All seeing the same pattern: Dana White's increasingly fractured relationships with the heavyweights he needs most. With Tom Aspinall now joining the list, alongside Francis Ngannou and Jon Jones.
Immediately incapacitated. He poked my eye and then he's like immediately, there was no like.
He never tried to look. It was rag on the eye immediately.
Dude, I would have been the silliest looking cat on national TV just
trying. He didn't try.
He didn't try. Same thing with Curtis Blaze. When he hurt his knee, there was no limping. There was no trying to get up. It was just like immediately.
Yep.
Oh, burn my village. I can't go on. Like,
he doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, that kill or be killed.
Immediately quits.
Yeah.
When he got tapped out with an ankle lock, there was no trying to fight his hands. There were no trying to. He immediately quit.
You see the pattern of it.
Immediately.
Yeah. And I noticed the profile pic change, and then you had some on your horse too, similar.
Yeah.
What's with that?
I'm just having fun.
You having fun with the eye patch?
I'm having fun with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like he had at it with me. He had a long time coming at me. So it's to keep the fans engaged.
Of course.
And it's just to keep things fun.
The best part about it is, like, what did Tom actually say about John? Like he never really played into, I guess he held up like a little duck and all that stuff, the horror. But yeah, the glazing was just.
He doesn't have that
Curtis
dog
Blades,
in him, bro.
the knee injury. He hit the air quotes for, I think it was a torn MCL, a torn meniscus, ACL damage, surgery, year recovery. He's just like
blown out.
Didn't even try to limp around.
He didn't even give it the old college try.
Just wouldn't even give it a try. He doesn't have that dog in him. Just doesn't have that dog.
And then the thing of like,
no, the other guy said that. The other guy said he didn't have that.
He saw the patterns.
Don't forget.
The thing about not trying to open your eye, like, wasn't Aspinall being killed for the fact that he opened his eye because he was trying to go on? Everyone keeps bringing up this thing of him saying, I can't see. Yeah, okay, that was his reaction, but he didn't tap out. He didn't do anyway. Not to like get into this back and forth because it's completely stupid, but it's like you've never seen anyone talk so much shit about someone that he refused to fight, and not just refused to fight, but generational money. Like, no one has ever been offered $30 million, to the best of our knowledge. Not even Conor up front. This is pre-pay-per-view points, and you said no. And now you've gone on this tour shitting on the guy, calling him a quitter, saying that he doesn't have that dog in him, saying that he looks for the way out. The Curtis Blades. By the way, the Curtis Blades fight happened already. The ankle lock that you're talking about happened already. The poke happened after you said no. But like, if there were patterns, why didn't you fight the guy?
Think about Dana White saying Tom didn't continue.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So.
And then also, who gives it to eye pokes?
Who gives it?
Well, listen, I didn't continue. I'll tell you why I didn't continue. Because I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not going to go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see. I know, as an MMA fighter, look, things are going to happen in the fight that compromise you. Go back and watch my fight with that.
The growing list of fighters who feel disrespected by the UFC aren't upset because they wanted special treatment, but because their loyalty was taken for granted. Tom Aspinall's response wasn't emotional or dramatic. It was honest. He explained exactly what happened to his eye, why he physically couldn't continue, how severe the damage was, and why Dana White's comments were not only wrong, but harmful. In doing so, he exposed a truth the UFC has avoided for years. This issue isn't just about pay or matchmaking, but about basic respect, and heavyweight champions who carry the division are running out of patience. Tom's message to Dana wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a line in the sand. A reminder that even the most loyal fighters have limits, and that staying silent eventually becomes surrender. He refused to surrender, expressing the frustration of watching fans, fighters, and even his own boss twist the narrative while he had always shown up for the UFC when others wouldn't. His injury wasn't an excuse or a tactic. It was a genuine medical emergency that could have caused permanent damage, and Dana's decision to trivialize it revealed the growing disconnect. The MMA world has sensed for years.
A little bit blurry. The other part of this eye is blurry.
But the main thing that's bothering me at the minute is double vision.
When he's looking up and in, the left eye is going up and in extremely well. The right eye is kind of stopping. You see how the right eye is just not as high up as the left, and that's a restriction. So the eye wants to go and he wants to track it, but the more I do this, the more he's going to start aching in that upper inner aspect. And what he's going to do is, if he's in a fight situation, he's not going to be dealing with it. He doesn't want the ache in the eye, and he also doesn't want to have double. So what he's going to do is tilt his head. So that's on that side. If you look at the left, which should be matching it, so you're looking across, up, 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 as much as you can. And you can see how, again, with the right eye, it's up and out, but the left eye is just not able to go as extremely up as possible.
When I got poked in the eye, obviously, and then people were like, his eye wasn't even red. Does your eye always go red when there's something wrong, or is that?
You can absolutely lose your vision without having a painful red eye. So you don't need a red eye to have blurred vision at all. So no.
Yeah. So how long till I can train properly, spar?
It's a long road ahead, but the prognosis is guarded at the moment. I would recommend that you wouldn't fight until your double vision's resolved.
Tom Aspinall went to the doctors, and the doctors has confirmed that he's got some issues with his eyeballs. He's got some soft tissue damage to the eyeballs, and that will happen when a 6'6" Frenchman sticks both of his fingers knuckle deep into your eyeballs, okay? So that's not surprising. But what is surprising is that he has something called Brown syndrome, which basically is where the eyes aren't moving in tandem with one another. So therefore, the eyes, which are basically cameras, right, for your brain, in case you don't know, they're seeing different images. And when you see different images, you see double, or maybe sometimes the brain cuts out one of the images so that it doesn't get confusing and you don't get headaches and stuff like that. And then, of course, when you're only seeing through one eye, you have problems with depth.
Tom Aspinall's frustration comes from betrayal, not ego. He repeatedly stepped in on short notice, stayed active when others vanished, and saved cards without complaint. Yet when he suffered a serious eye injury, the UFC met him with mockery instead of support. This mirrors a decade-long pattern. Francis Ngannou felt unheard and left. Jon Jones avoided the fights fans wanted and publicly attacked Tom, and now Tom himself is speaking out. The heavyweight division isn't defined by power or rivalry, it's defined by conflict, miscommunication, and broken trust. Tom's injury should have been the moment the UFC stood behind the one loyal fighter they can still rely on.